I'm Lee Snyder of Doc's Total Package, all ready to go. I want to show you something really exciting. I'm going to show you a number of products that really makes life so much simpler and easier. You got to have a little love in your life. That love involves NeXus Sandaway and leather Fiberflock. Those three things I'm going to demonstrate on this repair. As your eyes move down into there, somehow, I don't know where that shadow came from. Anyway, the sun just shifted. Anyway, you can see the tear there, the breakage here along the line. We're going to repair that. And then, of course, we're going to repair this big hole here, first of all. This big hole, obviously, is going to take a little more work. We start off with an underpatch. Now, before we do the underpatch, we're getting ahead of myself. We want to prepare the surface here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this product. It's called Sandaway, and it's like a prep. It's a real good, strong product by itself. But believe it or not, it's designed to use like this. You put it on, and you lightly sand it, and it really does open the pores. And a lot of times, it even actually levels some of the minor cracks in a way that it minimizes the amount of work that you'll have to do there. And we'll do that section over there too. Of course, this is old, dry leather. This normally would take a lot of work, and certainly this is no exception. You notice when you put it on, you sand it right away, and that keeps it from excessively scratching, but etching it in a way that not only will accept the repair process, but also possibly any colors that you might have to add, and also a greater wearability. You see how it loads up there on the paper there. That's okay. Okay. Sometimes I'll rewash it a little bit with a silicone wash, but for illustrative purposes right now, we're gonna skip that. I'm just gonna use a little bit of the cleaner, the leather, the Sandaway. And of course, like I said, this is a product that's very similar to leather prep, and it can be used. Leather prep can be used too, but this product seems to be balanced in a way that it seems to be more, not quite as aggressive, but at the same time powerful enough to be able to do the job. Okay, now let's get into the game. And the game involves an underpatch. Now, a lot of times you could probably CA that as far as an underpatch is concerned. But for right now, for illustrative purposes, I'm not going to do that because, well, I just don't want to. But actually, I want to show you the benefit of this product, because you see how it's going to push up. When we do the repair, we're going to have to do what we can to keep it level. A lot of times, what that would involve putting tape on it or putting something like that. But we're going to pretty much strictly just go with the repair process. You know, I probably should have. Well, anyway, this particular product is called the NeXus. The color cover. Now, we're going to use this in two fashions. First of all, I'm going to use it as an underpatch, and the material is very, very strong, as you can tell. And using this particular product comes in different compounds. You see right here, I actually mixed two of the colors together to get the right kind of shade. Sometimes the camera will show the color well, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I can have a color that's a couple shades off, but the camera likes it, thinks it looks fine. You see, the idea is we get a good underpatch. Now, this material is a solvent in nature. And what we do this, I'm going to level this like so, and we're going to come back to that, and I'm going to show you how we can use that with Fiberflock. But in the meantime, go ahead and back up here for a second, and you see this broader areas here? This is just virtually this simple. You see how it fills a lot of the cracks, and it virtually eliminates them, but if you look real careful, you can still see the scratches there. Or not the scratches, the cuts, the cracks. I knew it was one of those things. Anyway, I tell you about the story about these three drunks go walk into a bar. No, this is not the occasion time for that. Okay, but you see the one application. The nice thing about this product, it will dry very, very quick. One of the things that I found has a tremendous benefit, as you see right here, is a grain pad. And we have a CBC out. We sprayed on and get it wet like this. And I'm just going to show you this grain pattern is not exactly the right grain pattern, but this is just to kind of show you, as illustrated purposes, what you can do with this product. It's not totally dry, obviously, because you saw me spray it, but it dries fairly quick. Now, if you take a look at that, notice how the grain impression has been made. Because the moisture is on here, it doesn't allow it to stick to the grain pad. So there you have a nice little repair. And you see, it didn't take very long to do that. And then, of course, what you can do a lot of times is sometimes we'll take a little dye and spray it on top of it just to kind of help blend it in. Now let's move over here to the Fiberflock and to the conclusion of this repair. As I said before, the way I probably should have repaired this, although right now it wants to push up a little bit, just even naturally. Sometimes you can see it, but it does make a hard spot. This repair, when we're done, is not going to have that. This is Fiberflock, as you can see. Now we're going to go ahead and put that in. And what this does, this is almost actually a thickening agent. This is actually leather fiber material itself. And we're going to take a little bit of the NeXus, like so. Mix it in. Probably need a little more of that. Okay. I'm doing this in a way that hopefully you can see it, but it is awkward for me. You can see that okay mixing up? Okay. Well, I'm not unaccustomed to doing this to the camera. It does pose its own unique difficulties. Okay, now you see right here, we're going to apply that so, and you can see the actual fiber in itself is a little bit stringy in the matter of speaking. This is not what you're going to necessarily finish with, but you can see how easy this process will work. Now, as I said before, we're definitely not finished with it. And of course, just to let you know, this Fiberflock is very lightweight, so you got to make sure you put the cap on real quick, otherwise you'll end up calling me quicker than you really should have for more Fiberflock. Now you see, here's the grain pad once again. I'm going to show you how you can manipulate this in this grind, even though it's not dry, and there's always running the chance of making this thing bad. Okay, see how this is really not ready, but you see how that's coming up like that? In which case, when that happens, you just kind of push it back and just kind of work it off. Now over here, I don't know if you can see over here, we're starting to get good results here. But it's, obviously, it takes you so long to cook a cake, it takes you so long to do this, and you can only go so fast. Obviously, the thicker anything is, the longer it's going to take to dry. And me, I'm just trying to finish up real quick so I can show off. And getting back to over here, let's move back up over here. You remember how we did this? Look at this. See, I touch it, it's not sticky. That's how long. This is just a little bit sticky, but as I said before, this is really even ready for another grain if I wanted to continue grinding. Oops. Got to make sure your grain pad is clean. Okay. So now let's go over here, and as I said before, this is a product that you're not going to sand. This is a product that you're going to use primarily to fill and to compress. And oops, I grabbed the wrong product. That's more of the Fiberflock. I wanted to grab the clear. Now I hope I might have made more work for myself, but at least this is, in principle, you're going to be illustrated. It's going to be shown. This illustrates how the technique works. And they're really trying to speed this along faster than normal, since a lot of times we have a little bit of time to work with, and right now it's probably about 60 degrees, would you say, Alicia? 60 degrees? You don't want to speak up? She don't want to speak up for the camera. I don't take a look at me. Okay. Here, let me see the camera for a second.
No.
Okay. You don't want to. She don't want to be on. Okay. All right. Get back to this. Back to the story at hand. Okay. Now we've already put that in. You can see a little slight rise there. Actually, a slight dimple dent right there. You can see the outline. That's just a matter of just repeating the process. Sometimes if you're pressing a grain in, you're going to be able to level it off too. Oh, I made it worse. It's not. Oh, look at that. You see? It made it worse. See, sometimes if you have a hairdryer, you can speed it up, and I don't have a hairdryer. Okay, anyway, you can see. Sometimes people watch my videos, they say, "Oh, man, look at that guy. He sure made a mess of that." That's true. I did, and I do. And that's all I can say about that. But anyway, you pretty much get the idea. Even in the case here, if I spread this and did this around, you know, if you wet your finger a lot of times and you want to shape it like this, it's not going to allow the moisture.